I was packing my favorite sweater when my phone buzzed. The message from my son made my heart stop. "Mom, you're not coming to Hawaii with us. My wife thinks it's better if this trip stays just US. They took her parents instead and left me behind. This is after I helped them buy their dream car. So I called the bank and took it back. You won't believe what happened when they returned home." Before we continue, please hit that subscribe button and tell us where you're watching from in the comments below. I was folding my summer clothes on my bed, thinking about the warm Hawaiian sun. My suitcase sat open like a happy mouth, ready to eat up all my vacation clothes. The weather app showed sunny days in Honolulu. Perfect for the beach walks I had planned. I had been humming my favorite old song while picking between my red sandals and my walking shoes. The plane tickets sat on my dresser next to my passport. Both papers looked clean and ready to go. 4 hours until we had to leave for the airport. My tummy had those happy butterflies you get before a big trip. The phone buzzed again. Michael's name showed up on my screen. I put down my shirt and picked up my phone. I thought he was calling about meeting at the airport or maybe to remind me about something. But the words I read made my blood feel like ice water. "You're not coming with us to Hawaii. My wife thinks it's better if this vacation stays just our family." I read it 1 time, then 2 times, then 3 times. My finger stayed over the screen like maybe the words would change if I waited long enough. Just our family. Those words kept repeating in my head like a broken toy. I was his mother. I had planned this trip with him. I had helped pay for the tickets and found the best hotels after staying up late looking at the computer. What did "just our family" mean when you were talking to your own mom? I sat down hard on my bed. The suitcase was still open next to me like it was waiting for something that would never come. My hands shook a little as I typed back the only thing I could think of. "Okay." The sad feeling settled in my chest like a heavy rock. I looked around my bedroom at all the things I had gotten ready for a trip that wasn't going to happen anymore. The travel-sized shampoo bottles lined up on my dresser like little soldiers. The travel books with yellow sticky notes on pages about places we were going to see together. The new camera I bought just for this vacation, still in its box like a present no one wanted. I closed the suitcase very slowly. Each click sound seemed very loud in my quiet room. Then I called the airplane company and listened to boring music while I waited to cancel my ticket. The lady on the phone was very nice. "I'm sorry about your change of plans, Mrs. Johnson," she said. I wondered if she could hear how sad I was in my voice. After that, I sat in my living room looking at the travel papers scattered on my coffee table like autumn leaves. The house felt more empty than usual, more quiet in a way that made my ears feel funny. Outside, I could hear my neighbor's cat meowing at something. The sound was sharp in the afternoon quiet. I picked up one of the travel papers about Hawaiian beaches and put it on the side table. It felt like such a small thing to do, but it was all I could manage right then. I understood that I had been carefully left behind, like a toy that nobody wanted to play with anymore. Night came with the same empty quiet that had filled my house all day. I had moved around like a ghost, leaving my dinner dishes in the sink instead of washing them right away like I always do. The packed suitcase still sat by my bedroom door like it was still hoping we might go somewhere. The TV was talking from the living room, some news show I wasn't really watching. I kept looking at my phone for no good reason, scrolling through nothing important. My fingers felt jumpy against the screen. Maybe Facebook would help me feel less empty inside. I scrolled past Mrs. Chen's pictures of her garden, recipes from my book club friends, and posts about politics I didn't want to read. The blue light from the screen felt oddly nice in my dark living room. Then I saw it. Sarah's parents standing in front of a beautiful beach with palm trees. Both of them smiling big at the camera like people do when they're having the best time ever. The words under the picture said, "Starting the most amazing family vacation ever." The timestamp showed it was posted 1 hour ago. My thumb stopped moving above the screen. Maybe they had taken a different trip. Maybe this was an old picture they just decided to share. My heart started beating faster as I clicked on their page to see more pictures. There it was. Same beach, same time, but this picture had 4 people in it. Sarah's parents, Sarah and Michael, all of them standing together in front of a fancy restaurant with drinks on the table behind them. Sarah's words under the picture made my stomach drop like I was on a roller coaster. So grateful for family time in paradise. I counted the faces in the picture with shaking fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. The word family burned in my mind like when you touch something hot. I put the phone down on the coffee table, its screen still glowing with their happy faces. I stood up and walked to the kitchen window, looking out at my neighbor's house where warm yellow lights came from the windows. Families together for the evening, being happy with each other. The hurt hit me in waves, like when you're at the beach and the water keeps knocking you down. I picked up the phone again, hoping I had understood wrong, hoping the pictures would tell a different story. But they were still there. The timestamps still new, their smiles still bright and happy. The four of them together in the place I had dreamed of visiting, having the vacation I had helped plan, using the ideas I had found on the computer late at night. I walked back to the kitchen window and saw my own face looking back at me in the glass, like a ghost that looked sad and tired. Behind my reflection, the phone screen showed their group picture. Their happiness mixed with my lonely face in the window. It looked so different and painful, like a picture that showed exactly where I stood in their idea of family. I had barely slept, rolling around in my bed while pictures of their vacation played in my head like a movie I didn't want to watch. Morning came with gray light coming through my bedroom curtains, and I knew I needed answers. I couldn't let this happen without understanding why they did it. My coffee cup shook a little in my hands as I sat at the kitchen table, practicing what I would say to Michael. The time difference meant it was afternoon in Hawaii, perfect for calling. I took a big breath and called his number, listening to the expensive sound of calling far away. 3 rings, 4 rings, then his voice bright and happy. "Hi, Mom." I could hear noise in the background. Sarah's voice. Street sounds. The busy noise of people having fun on vacation. "I need to understand something," I said without saying hello first. "What's that?" He sounded like he wasn't really paying attention, probably looking at some pretty view or store window. "I saw the pictures on Facebook. Sarah's parents are there with you." There was a pause, a long one that felt uncomfortable. Then his voice changed, sounding mean. "Mom, we can explain. You said it was just your family. What am I then?" Her voice got colder now, like ice. "Look, Sarah said you can be too much sometimes. She didn't want her vacation ruined." The word ruined hit me like someone had slapped me. Too much. I helped plan this trip. I helped pay for the tickets. And Sarah's parents paid for their own tickets. They don't expect us to take care of them all the time. All the time. The words hung in the air between us like a mean accusation. "I helped you both when you needed it," she interrupted. "We never asked for you to make us feel guilty about it." I could hear Sarah laughing in the background about something else, her voice happy and not caring about our conversation. The sound made my teeth clench together. "Honestly, Mom," Michael continued, his voice getting meaner with each word. "Sarah was right. You're too needy." The phone felt heavy in my hand like it weighed 100 pounds. "I understand." "Good. We'll talk when we get back." "Understood." I hung up without saying goodbye. I put the phone down very carefully, the word needy echoing in my mind like a bad song that won't stop playing. I walked to my living room, pulled by some feeling I couldn't name. The walls were covered with family pictures. Me teaching Michael to ride his first bike. His graduation from college where he wore that funny hat. His wedding day where I had cried happy tears while watching him get married. My hands slowly made fists as I stared at these pictures of what I thought was love, but maybe I was wrong about everything. In one picture I was holding baby Michael, both of us smiling at the camera. My reflection in the glass showed an older woman, harder now, with something cold growing behind her eyes. I reached out and straightened the picture frame with careful movements. The small action felt important somehow, like I was fixing more than just a crooked picture. I stayed in my living room after the phone call, surrounded by pictures of what I thought was love, but was really just me being useful. Each photo on the wall told a story I was only now beginning to understand the right way. The wedding photo where I walked down the aisle as the mother of the groom. I had paid $25,000 for that day. Every detail perfect because I wanted him to be happy. The college graduation picture where he threw his hat in the air. I had paid off his student loans when Sarah couldn't find work after her graduation. The house hunting photos on my coffee table. I had co-signed their apartment lease when the landlord wouldn't approve them on their own. Christmas photos showed expensive gifts under trees I had bought. Birthdays where my presents were opened last, almost like they forgot about them. Each memory added weight to my chest, a growing heaviness that made it hard to breathe normally. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out bank papers and receipts I had kept because I always keep everything organized. The down payment for their car, $15,000 from my savings account. Money I had saved by eating simple meals and not buying things for myself. Car insurance payments I had taken over when Michael lost his first job. Credit card bills I had paid when they couldn't pay their bills. The vacation money I had been saving for years. Money that had bought their tickets to Hawaii. But it wasn't just the money. I remembered plans and things I had given up that were more important than dollars. The girls' trip with my book club friends I had cancelled because Michael needed babysitting help. The nice man from church who had asked me to have coffee with him. I had said no because Michael needed help moving their furniture. My own travel dreams put away again and again while I helped make their dreams come true. Sunday dinners where Sarah barely talked to me. Holiday parties where I felt like a stranger trying to fit in. The small ways she had made me feel unwelcome in their lives while at the same time taking my money and help. The pattern was so clear now I couldn't believe I had missed it for so long. My hands shook as I turned the photos face down, unable to look at them anymore. The word needy played over and over in my mind like a broken record player. Suddenly, with crystal clear understanding, I knew the difference between being loved and being used. They had never asked me to join their lives as family. They had asked me to pay for their lives. I stood up so fast my chair rolled backward and hit the wall with a bang. In the mirror above my desk, I saw someone who had been taken advantage of for years. Someone who had confused being generous with being loved and had received lies and tricks in return. The reflection showed a woman who had been patient and giving and trusting and had been paid back with betrayal and being thrown away like garbage. I opened my laptop and stared at my bank account on the screen. The cursor blinked over the section where both Michael and Sarah had access to my accounts. My fingers shook above the mouse, one click away from changing everything. But I closed the laptop without clicking. The action stopped in the air, tension building like storm clouds gathering strength. Some decisions needed more than just acting on feelings. Some decisions needed careful planning. I sat in the heavy silence of my living room. The laptop closed in front of me like a door I wasn't ready to open yet. The weight of years of being used pressed down on my shoulders, and I found myself staring at the family photos I had turned face down. The quiet house seemed to hold its breath around me, waiting for something to happen. Then my phone made that familiar sound of my banking app sending me a message. I almost ignored it, thinking it was just another boring notification about my credit score or ads trying to sell me something. But something made me pick it up. Maybe just needing any distraction from the dark thoughts going around and around in my mind. The screen showed account alert, transaction processed. I opened the banking app with my fingerprint, expecting to see my monthly electric bill or grocery store charge. Instead, the transaction details loaded like a punch to my stomach. $347.82. Luxury Resort Spa, Honolulu, Hawaii. The timestamp showed 3 hours ago, right around their lunchtime in Hawaii. My mind connected the dots with painful clarity. Sarah had used my authorized user card. I had given her emergency access years ago when she was trying to build good credit, back when I thought I was helping her become independent with money. The irony burned in my chest like acid. They had left me out of their family vacation, but were using my money to pay for their fancy Hawaiian spa treatments. I scrolled through recent transactions with growing shock and anger. Hotel charges, shopping at expensive stores, tourist attractions, all on my card. All while Sarah's parents supposedly paid their own way and didn't expect us to take care of them constantly. I stood up, walking around my living room with the phone held tight in my hand. Every family photo on the wall looked different now. Like evidence in a court case, I was finally beginning to understand. The phrase, "This is my chance," formed in my mind, clear and certain as a bell ringing. I opened the card management section of the app, finding my way to authorized users. Sarah's name sat there in black computer letters, representing years of money access I had given out of love and received manipulation and lies in return. Another notification made a sound on my screen. $156.23. Designer Boutique Waikiki. She was shopping while I sat alone in my house, dealing with their betrayal. That decided it for me. My finger hung over the Remove User button for just a moment. Years of being the supportive mother fought with the growing certainty that support and being taken advantage of were very different things. The confirmation screen appeared. Are you sure? This action cannot be undone. I selected yes. Remove immediately. The screen confirmed. Authorized user access revoked. I felt my first taste of real control in years, a feeling both strange and satisfying, like finally standing up straight after being bent over for too long. I set the phone down on my coffee table with careful movements, looking at my reflection in the dark computer screen. For the first time in days, a small smile crossed my face like sunshine peeking through clouds. I walked to my kitchen to make fresh coffee, my movements more sure than they had been since getting that first terrible text message. The coffee maker made happy bubbling sounds, and through my window I could hear my neighbor cutting his grass. Normal life continuing while my quiet revolution began. The next morning found me at my kitchen table, actually enjoying my coffee for the first time in days. The morning newspaper was spread in front of me, and I was reading about local school events when my phone rang with angry insistence. The international number was one I knew, and I checked the time. 8 a.m. here, which meant 3 p.m. in Hawaii. I let it ring twice before answering, no longer worried about pleasing them or afraid of missing their call. "Good morning to you too, Michael," I said, hearing Sarah's sharp breath on the other end. "Mom, what did you do to the card?" Sarah's voice was immediately demanding and mean. No nice words or asking how I was doing. "I removed your access to my account. Don't give me that attitude. I tried to pay for lunch and it was declined in front of my parents." The sharp anger in her voice could have cut glass. The waiter had to come back 4 times. It was so embarrassing. "That must have been uncomfortable," I replied, taking another sip of my coffee like nothing was wrong. "Uncomfortable. It was horrible. You can't do that. I need that card." "For what? I thought you didn't need me taking care of you constantly." "That's completely different." Her voice was getting higher and shriekier with each word she spoke. "Is it?" There was a pause and I could hear quiet talking in the background before she came back with poison in her voice. "You fix this right now or there will be consequences." "What kind of consequences?" "Michael and I have been talking. When we get back, we're looking into nursing homes." My coffee cup stopped halfway to my lips. "Nursing homes? You're getting older, Mom. You obviously can't handle your money responsibly anymore." The cruelty in her tone was breathtaking, like being slapped across the face. "We'll sell your house to pay for it. You don't need all that space anyway." I heard Michael's voice in the background. "Tell her it's for her own good." "Michael says it's for your own good." I sat in long silence, processing these threats that felt like knives. They wanted to put me in a nursing home and sell my house because I had stopped paying for their vacation shopping sprees. The nerve was staggering, like being punched in the stomach. "Mom, are you listening? Put my card access back." I heard every single word. "Good. So you'll fix it?" "No." "What do you mean, no?" "I mean no. Enjoy the rest of your family vacation." "Mom, don't you dare." I hung up and set the phone face down on the table. My hands were steady as I took a long sip of coffee, looking out my kitchen window at my well-kept garden. This house I had lived in for 25 years, paid off completely, with my name alone on all the papers. The house they thought they could sell to put me away somewhere convenient for them. I stood up with new purpose, leaving my coffee unfinished, and walked toward my home office with determined steps. There was important work to be done. I pulled out the car loan papers from my filing cabinet, spreading them across my desk like a battle plan. It wasn't just any car loan document I was studying. It was the paperwork for Michael and Sarah's dream car, the red convertible they had wanted so badly. My name alone on the loan, just as it had been since I bought it for them 6 months ago. I remembered the conversation back then. Just until we can get approved for our own loan, Mom. We'll transfer it to our names once our credit improves. They had been too busy with their lives to handle the paperwork, always promising to get around to it next month, next season, next year. I found the number for the car dealership in my phone contacts. Jim Morrison had sold me the car, a friendly man who understood that sometimes family situations get complicated. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. The drive to his dealership took me through familiar streets in my town. Mrs. Garcia waved from her flower shop as I drove past. Her friendly wave a reminder of what a normal morning this looked like from the outside. 20 minutes later I parked at Morrison's Auto Sales, housed in a big building with shiny cars displayed in the windows. Jim looked up from his computer as I entered, surprise and pleasure on his face. "Helen, good to see you. How's that convertible running? I need to repossess the car. Today." He paused, his experienced eyes reading something serious in my expression. "The car you bought for Michael. Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine. I just need the car back." "What's the situation like?" Jim asked, turning to his computer and pulling up my account with professional efficiency. "Well, since you're the legal owner and the loan is in your name, we can arrange immediate repossession." "How quickly are we talking?" "As soon as possible." He pulled out repossession paperwork and towing company schedules. His movements were practiced and reassuring, like he had done this many times before. "We'll need to coordinate with the towing service. I can have my team there this afternoon. The car is currently at their apartment complex. I have the spare key." Jim looked slightly confused but professionally accepting. We discussed timing, paperwork, and next steps. I signed the repossession order, my signature firm and decisive. "I'll start the process immediately," Jim said. "In situations like this, we can have the car back within hours." We shook hands, and I appreciated his professionalism. Walking back to my car, I felt lighter than I had in months. That afternoon, I sat in my garden with a cup of tea, watching the roses I had planted last spring. My phone rang with Jim's number. "Helen, it's done. Car's been towed and is back on our lot. Clean repossession." "Thank you, Jim. What would you like to do with it?" "We can put it back up for sale." "Yes, sell it. I want it gone." After hanging up, I watered my roses, each bloom representing something beautiful I had created for myself instead of giving everything away to people who didn't appreciate it. For the first time in months, I felt like I was living my own life. 3 days later, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find Michael and Sarah standing on my porch with their suitcases, looking tan but tired from their long flight home. Behind them sat a taxi with the meter still running. "Mom, where's our car?" Michael demanded without even saying hello. "It's been repossessed." Sarah's face turned red with anger. "You can't just take our car. It was never your car. The loan was in my name. But we need that car for work." Michael's voice got louder and more demanding. "Then you should have treated me better." I started to close the door, but Sarah stuck her foot in the way. "This is insane. You're acting crazy," Sarah shouted, her vacation happiness completely gone now. "We'll call the police." "Go ahead," I replied calmly. "I repossessed my own property legally." Michael's face turned purple with rage. "You're doing this because we didn't invite you on one vacation. I'm doing this because you used my money while excluding me from your family. That's totally different." But even he didn't sound convinced anymore. "Is it?" The taxi driver honked his horn impatiently. "Look, we'll discuss this later," Michael said, trying to sound like he was in charge. "We need to get home and figure this out." "How are you getting home?" I asked innocently. Sarah's eyes widened as the reality hit her. They had no car. The taxi meter was running. Their apartment was 15 miles away. "Can you give us a ride?" Michael asked, his demanding tone suddenly becoming pleading. "I don't think so. Sarah said I was too needy, remember? Mom, please. We're family." "Am I? Because in Hawaii, you said family was just the four of you." Sarah started crying angry tears. "This isn't fair. Neither was being excluded from your family vacation while you spent my money." The taxi driver honked again, louder this time. "Fine," Michael said through gritted teeth. "We'll take the taxi home and figure this out tomorrow." "That sounds like a good plan," I agreed pleasantly. "Oh, and Michael, you might want to start looking for a cheaper apartment. Without my co-signature, you'll need to find something you can actually afford." His face went white as he realized what that meant. I watched the taxi drive away with them in the back seat, probably calculating how much that long ride was going to cost them. I closed my door and made myself another cup of tea, feeling peaceful for the first time in years. 2 weeks later, I was reading in my garden when my phone rang. It was Jim from the dealership. "Helen, great news about the car. Sold it this morning for full asking price. Young family just moved here for work. They were so excited." "That's wonderful, Jim. After paying off the loan balance, you're looking at a $3,000 profit." The number made me smile. I had turned my gesture of motherly love into a solid financial win. "I'll have the check ready this afternoon." "Thank you, Jim. You've been very professional through all of this." "My pleasure. Hope everything works out well for you. I hope I did the right thing." If you enjoyed our story, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts about this story in the comments below.